Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another video from Andrew's life. Uh, I don't really have a lot to say in terms of this town, but hope you enjoy the ride. But here's some basic information. Now, obviously, I am driving through New Salem, North Dakota. This town was founded in 1883. This town is located towards the southeast region of the state. The population is 973 people with a growth of 0.9% as of the 2020 census. And then the population grew another 3.9% in 2021, bringing up the population to 1,011 people. And this town has been growing since the 1910 census. Now, the two census years where the growth was negative was 1970. The population loss was at 4.4%, and again in 1990, the population lost 15.4%. But other than those two census years, the town has been a growing town for the most part. And New Salem is located 32 minutes east of Bizmarck, off of Interstate 94. And if you want to live here, your median rent prices are going to be anywhere from $650 to $1,440 a month. Your median home price is $178,000. Now there's houses for as low as $150,000. The crime here is relatively low. So, I mean, I would say, obviously, if you're looking for a small world setting to reside in, and you prefer to not be too far from any cities, then this would be if you got the money, that is, this would be a fairly decent community to come and check out. I mean, even during the winter time when it gets, the weather here can get pretty nasty, obviously. But yeah, I mean, when I was driving through this town doing these videos, as you guys will see, there's going to be a couple of roads here. Well, actually a few roads to where they're doing some work. And some of the roads I was unable to drive down because they were doing a whole lot of work. So these roads that are tore up definitely don't serve any justice in terms of the appearance of this town. But this town, for the most part, it's quiet, it's low-key. It's just a typical small Midwestern town that's not too far from Bizmarck. I mean, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Indiana. Because, of course, throughout the Midwest, you do got a lot of these small towns that are like this. Now, on to some other stuff. Where do I start here? Well, for starters, for those of you that have been watching my channel and leaving comments below, I would like to thank every last one of you for doing that. And I know a couple of times I have made little comments about me improving my channel. Now there's a couple of you that have put comments in the comment sections of different videos that I've uploaded, telling me that you like my channel the way it is and that you appreciate my videos. And for those of you that have done that, I appreciate you guys a whole bunch. So I thank you for putting that in the comment section for me. I appreciate that. And of course, on this channel, I guess now I'm pretty sure that some of you may have noticed on this channel that more recently I've been doing a little more videos that have been reactional videos. Now, ever since I brought this computer, I purchased this computer about a few months ago now. And ever since I purchased this computer, I have been able to upload reaction videos because the technology that I have now, I did not have back when I was using my older computer. Now, my older computer was basically it was basically a laptop that was refurbished, and I purchased it back in 2020, and it was a refurbished laptop. Now, honestly, I think the laptop was I think that laptop may have been around 10 years of age. I mean, but it was refurbished. But it got to the point with my other computer where certain things I wanted to do for this channel, I couldn't really do because the speed on that computer was too slow. Or two, if I did stuff, the quality of the video will come out very poor. So I figure since I enjoy doing YouTube, and I do desire to build this channel and make a living off this, I'm gonna need to do a little bit of investing in some better equipment so I can improve the channel and make the watching experience a little more better for those who choose to view my channel. So I went out to the Best Buy that's close to my house, and I bought this new computer that I'm using now. I'm so glad I did because it's making everything that I'm doing now so much easier. And of course, as some of you guys may notice, I did purchase a GoPro. I mean, now some of the videos I do, I still use my phone, but other videos I do, I use my GoPro. Like this video you guys are looking at right now is coming off my GoPro. I mean, I figure with the GoPro, the picture quality is going to be a little better. It's going to be a little bit more crisp. And I'm not going to have to adjust my camera near as much as I would if I was using my phone. Now it does cost me a little bit more money when I use the GoPro, because the GoPro, the way the GoPro is, it takes up more space. It takes up more space on my little disc, so that means I gotta buy disc more frequently. But my attitude is, it's just part of the expenses of being a YouTuber. So it is what it is. I figure as much as I like to travel, as many places as I would like to see, I figure why not do a little bit of recording in the process and at least get paid a little bit of money while I'm on the road here. Okay, now anyhow, I got way off the subject, people. I'm sorry. Like, let's get back on topic here. Hey, you okay, kitty? You alright? Yeah, my kitty's crying. Why, I don't know. But anyways, let's get back on topic here. What was I talking about? Yeah, I mean, recently I've been doing more reaction videos, as you guys notice on my channel, because there's certain topics that come up, especially topics that deal with evictions, that deal with people getting screwed over by real estate association companies. I've been talking a little bit more about stuff like that because, I mean, even though I've never been a victim of such a situation, I mean, for some reason, it still irks the hell out of me that these associations are allowed to do what they do, and they have the power that they have in this country to screw people over like that. So yeah, there's just certain topics that come up, and when I wake up in the morning, typically I go on my phone, I look on Google, and if I come across an article and I'll go ahead and read the article, and if it's a topic that I'm passionate about, that I might know a thing or two about, there's a good chance that you're going to see a reaction video from me about that topic. Now, for those of you that have been following my channel since the very beginning, which was 2.5 years ago, this channel, it was a nomad channel. That's what I intended it to be. But then I decided to switch it off because, when it came to nomad content, I just didn't have enough content, or I just didn't feel that this channel would be good being a nomad channel, because I did not live my life full time as a nomad, which is why I decided to do my channel the way I do it now, where I do a crap load of traveling, and anymore, if a topic comes up that I'm passionate about, you'll see a reaction video from me. And more recently, I've been doing, now when I first started this channel, I've done a couple of little videos to where either I may have cooked something, but as you guys notice, I've been doing more cooking videos, and as I noticed, a lot of you guys enjoy those videos because they've been doing fairly good. And I enjoy cooking videos. I mean, because times out here are tough for a lot of people, and a lot of people love to eat, and a lot of you guys would prefer to eat food that's not only does it taste good, but as a bonus, it might even be good for you. It will fill you up. You're not going to leave your table hungry. And on top of that, the recipes that I make, I typically use plain Jane, low price ingredients, because I consider myself to be a fairly frugal person. I really do. I mean, for the most part, I consider myself to be frugal. I mean, I don't like spending a lot of money. I try to exercise good stewardship with my money. And not to get too political here, but conservatism to me ain't got a damn thing to do with politics. Conservatism to me is simply a lifestyle that one chooses to adopt that involves exercising good stewardship with one's resources. So to me, conservatism ain't got nothing to do with politics. And yes, I'm very much so when it comes to being conservative, not politically, but conservative in terms of how I utilize my resources, I'm very conservative. I consider myself very conservative. I mean, I grew up in a family that was conservative. And when I was growing up as a kid, I couldn't understand why my mom and dad were conservative. But now that I'm an adult, and now that I have to take care of my own bills, and I gotta do what adults do, when after a few years of me doing dumb shit with money, and then my money be all messed up, and I mean, I might tell you that story on another video. Yeah, I'm gonna share that story on another video. I'm gonna share some of my stories of how I got to being the way I used to with money to how I am now. But since I'm talking about it, I'll just give you the super short, abbreviated version of the story. But yeah, I grew up in a middle class family. Parents were very conservative. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, a lot of our neighbors, every few years, they would, the parents would trade in their vehicles for a newer vehicle. And a lot of my fellow classmates, when they came to school, they would have slightly more expensive clothes and shoes than what I had. And when I was growing up, I couldn't understand, why that was. I mean, and to make a long story short, my parents, what they did was they raised me to not get too tied up with materialism, and two, if I really want something, I'm gonna have to get out there and work and go after it. I remember, so make a long story short, I remember when I turned, I think I was 10 and a half, and we were at Hills. Now, for those of you that are familiar with Hills, I don't know now Hills was a department store that was throughout the state of Ohio. I don't know if Hills was a store in any other state or not. But I grew up in Elyria, Ohio, which is a half hour west of Cleveland. And we used to have a store called Hills, which was a couple of miles away from our house. Me and my mom, we were at the store. My mom was shopping around for whatever she was shopping for. I decided to go off into the toy section. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw this bicycle. The name of the bike was called a Huffy White Heat. Now, for those of you that are my age that remember the Huffy White Heat back when we were kids, drop a comment below. And yeah, drop a comment below. But yeah, there's this bike called the Huffy White Heat. It was a 24-inch, 12-speed bike. So I stood at the bike. You know what? When this happened, I was 11 years old. So anyhow, I stood at this bike, and then I ran to my mom, thinking that, okay, hey mom, come and look at something for me. So my mom followed me to the toy section. She looked at the bike, and then I looked at my mom again, and then I was like, hey, it's like, can you buy this for me? And she looked at me and she's like, well, let me think about it. So I was like, well, okay, so when will you let me know whether or rather not you'll buy it? And then she's like, well, you know what, let's go home and think about it. Let's talk about it. It's like, okay. So I was super excited, thinking that, okay, we're going to go home. We're going to have a little conversation. She's going to give me some ground rules. And then we're going to go back to the store. We're going to grab that bike up. It did not work like that. I mean, my mom put my ass to work. What happened was, when we got home, she grabbed the local newspaper. And my mom grabbed the newspaper, and she went to the one ads. She went to the, I think it was a one ads, it is in the classified section. And she pointed out a paper route that was available. The paper route was like only a couple of streets over from the street where I grew up on. So my mom told me that, hey, here's the paper route, it's open. So I looked at the ad and I read it, and I don't remember them putting what the paper route was paying. I don't think they did. I think they had a call. So I looked at it, and my mom's like, well, how about that? You can have yourself a paper route. And that's like, okay. And then my mom was like, well, let's call at the time, the paper company was called the Chronicle Telegram. So my mom was like, okay, well, let's call the Chronicle and see what they're gonna pay you. But really what happened was, she gave me the phone and she told me to call the Chronicle Telegram, so I called the Chronicle Telegram. And then she was kind of sitting on the side, just kind of coaching me along and telling me the proper questions to ask the person on the other end. So, make a long story short, I found out what I was going to be making per week, And on that paper route, it was $20 a week. I was, I didn't know what to do, man. $20 a week. It's like, man. I mean, I was happy. I was actually happy. And at that point, I pretty much put two and two together. My mom wouldn't buy me no bicycle. She's gonna have me do this paper route, and then I'm about to buy my own bicycle with the money that I saved. So at this point, I can't put two and two together. So we sat down and we had that conversation about the ground rules, about having the paper route, not the bicycle. So making a long story short, whenever I got paid, I think I may have took out $5 for myself, and that $5 lasted me for the entire week. And then the other $15 I put in an envelope, and my mom kept the envelope in a safe somewhere. I think it was in the kitchen. It was in the safe. And then when I got the money necessary to buy the bike, and I remember during the time I was saving this money, it seemed like it was a lifetime and a half that it took me to save the money. I mean, it took forever, it seemed. I mean, I set aside $15 a week, and after about a couple of months, I had the money necessary. Me, my mom, my dad, we hopped in the car, we drove the hills, and I was hoping that they would have the bike still in stock, that no one grabbed it up and brought it, because I remember I asked my mom, hey mom, can you put this bike in layaway for me so no one grabs it up? My mom told me, no, I'm not doing no layaway. If it's meant for you to have that bike, it's going to be there when you come into the store with your money. So okay, I had no choice but to accept that. So I was so happy. I went into the store. The bike was there's a Huffy White Heat right there. I mean, I rushed to the bike, and I was able to grab it off the rack, and then we wheeled it up to the front. And in fact, I paid for the bike, and then as a celebration for my first major purchase out of my own money, Mom and my dad took me to McDonald's, and we had McDonald's as a celebration. So yeah, I'll get into a little more about my journey. I'll get into a little bit more about my financial journey on another video. I'm getting close to the end of my trip here. So thanks for watching, and everybody have a blessed one, and I'll see you on the next one.